Hey guys, Captain Matt with Captain's Quarters First Class, a podcast about outdoor lighting. More than about outdoor lighting, but that's what we focus on here. Today, I want to talk to you about crews, employees, company culture, and firing people. Uh, Check out the new hoodie. Got a little cap in reverse on the screen. Captain's patch, barefoot lighting, nice, super warm hoodies, next level ones. So, pretty pumped about these. Well, right now it is the middle of November. We're super busy. Obviously, Christmas lights are going on. I got a ton of the gemstone light, the permanent color changing soffit light installations going on, and I got landscape lighting going on. Busiest time of year, it's fourth quarter. Hired a new guy, and because we need a new guy, right? We need another person to relieve some of the pressure to get the jobs done in time for the gemstone and landscape lighting side of things. So we really, really need someone. And I've been in this position before. When you really need somebody, it's super easy to keep someone on your staff that you know you shouldn't keep because you just need a body. You need somebody to hold a ladder. You need somebody to do something. And no matter how good, bad they are, anybody will do. The problem is people know that and they act like that. For instance, yesterday I had hired a new guy who had started Monday. Today's Wednesday when I'm recording this. So yesterday was Tuesday. It was their second day of work. On the job site uh, with the crew lead, he was putting a ladder back on the truck. It was in the wrong, we have a certain way we do it in terms of which one goes where. And the crew lead had told him, hey, we don't do that. He went to go help him. Guy almost, said his finger almost got pinched and he's not a kid. And he blew up right at the client's house with the client outside with kids walking in the neighborhood, screaming and shouting, dropping the F bombs, just screaming like insane guy, totally misrepresenting the brand, making us look horrible, and putting that crew lead in a position he should never have to be with another employee. Not knowing what this guy's going to do. Is he going to hit him? Is he going to fight him? Right? That true, what can be hostile work environment, right? That is not okay. And although I need a body, the moment I was told this story, the moment I heard the evidence, um, I fired him. No questions asked, no second chances, even though I needed him because I don't need that or want that, nor will I tolerate that on any of my crews or from any of the people who are out there representing me. There's zero possibility. And I wanted everyone to know that there is no second chances when you do something like that. This isn't messing up. This isn't something small. Like we don't do that. We don't scream. It's not even. So when I was firing him, he said, "Excuse me." He was saying, "You're firing me over saying the F word. You're keeping this guy, even though he breaks everything," which is weird. Of course, the guy he's talking about has broken things. Everyone breaks things, and he couldn't understand that it wasn't about using the F word. Right? That wasn't the thing. It was how he behaved in general. And and he was saying, I'm a 51-year-old man. I don't need to be treated like a child. When the reality was he was acting like a child. He's throwing a hissy fit. That's not okay. You should be able to restrain your emotions from having to yell and scream anywhere, but especially at a client's house, especially when you're repping our brand and you're literally at an installation. We all break things. I tell my employees, if you break something, the rule is you tell me immediately, whether it's something at the client's property or one of our tools or the truck or whatever. You know why? Because the company culture that I have is very important to me. I've all too often allowed employees that I knew I should fire to stay on and ruin the company culture, ruin the workplace that I want, a team, a collaboration. Yeah, we have high expectations. Doesn't mean we can't work together and have a good time, but we will not tolerate that. And the biggest test to that, to see if you actually believe in your company culture and if you believe in your mission statement and what you will and won't allow, the biggest test to that is, will you fire somebody when you actually need them to work? Because that will show yourself and your staff that it's not a fucking joke. This will not be tolerated. We will establish this company culture. We will establish team collaboration, and we will not allow somebody else to ruin it. There will be zero second chances when it comes to that. And I was talking to my buddy Shane GloDaddy Duffy, and he said, well, that's, most like an East Coast thing. I'll say, fuck that. If you go out and you're swearing and yelling at one of my guys, whether that's in the office, in the warehouse, or on a job site, you're gone. I'm not having any of my employees feel like they might have to get into a fight with another employee. Zero questions asked. Get the fuck out. I don't care. And then he will be replaced easily. In terms of, when I say easy replaced, I don't mean that you can hire, necessarily get somebody in tomorrow, although we do, but it's more about what they bring to the table can be replaced. Because when you allow someone that becomes like a cancer to the whole team, that will do more damage than falling behind on work. A lot more damage. Not only does the, whole company culture and the vibe while working change and people become more miserable instead of happy, or even if they're, put in a hard day's work, it's different putting a hard day's work for somewhere that you like to be or you like working for versus just putting in a hard day's work because you have to get it done. It's just, I don't want to be here, but I need that paycheck. I can't afford to quit. Right? There's a different mindset from the employee's perspective, the technician's perspective, whatever employee it is, for someone who wants to be there versus someone who has to be there. I challenge you to make your set of rules of what you will and will not tolerate and test them. Do you actually believe them? Because the only real test is, do you initiate the consequences that you have laid forth when that happens, no matter what the repercussions on your side is? Will you have to suit up the tools again? Maybe. Will you get a couple days behind? Maybe. But I will not tolerate the company culture being ruined by one individual. It will not happen again. Not on my watch. It's happened multiple times where I've had to fire good people because I allowed someone who was in that cancerous mentality position to pollute them. People who started off amazing, working with the wrong person who I knew I should fire. And this has happened multiple times. I'm not talking about even a specific employee. This happened more often than I'd like to admit. And finally, it took enough times of me losing really good people to say no more. I don't care. I will be behind in work. I will go out there myself. I will not tolerate employees that do not fit the company that I'm building. It's easy. It's hard, right? It's hard to make those decisions. It's harder in the moment. It's hard when you're swamped with work, but it's easy if you believe what you say. So I would challenge you. What do you allow? Even if you haven't hired anyone yet, start making a set of rules. You have your core values, your mission statement. Does the actions that you allow translate into actually making those legitimate? Is your core beliefs and your mission statement bullshit, or does it mean something? Because we've all seen the core values and mission statements of big ass companies, and it's all stupid fucking fluff. Nobody cares. It's not real. It's a fugazi. But when you actually operate in those, it's pretty easy to let people go. And I'm not big on firing guys. I mean, anyone who knows me knows I've got a teacher's heart. I love to coach, train, mentor. I have a very forgiving spirit. I don't like, I can see so much potential in people. It's one of my strengths and my weaknesses because I see that potential. And sometimes I treat them as if they're actually trying to live up to that potential when in reality, they don't actually give a shit and they're not even trying. So I have had to teach myself to see the potential, help nurture it and grow it. I can't do that alone. Like, they have to want it. And if they don't want it, I need to see when that happens. Okay, even though I see the potential, I know how great that they can be, they don't want it, or they're behaving in a way that cannot be tolerated. So they must go. I don't like firing people. I know that people are at jobs not because they want to go out and they have nothing else better to do for the day. They're here to make money, whether it's pay their own bills, feed their family, doesn't matter. I don't get excited about it. I don't love it. I usually don't even talk about it. But this one was just such a perfect story in terms of what happened that I'm able to show that I practice what I preach in terms of if you say something won't be tolerated, if you say this is the company culture that you're hiring guys on for, and if you allow someone to go against that, everything else you say in your employees' minds, they will know is negotiable or it's just straight bullshit. So keep true to your word. Work with your guys, right? If someone breaks them, of course, we all fuck up. We all break shit. We all do things wrong. I don't fire people for breaking shit and doing things wrong on the job site. They installed something wrong. I do fire them when they come at my guys, or when they start screaming, when they break the company culture in a way that cannot be tolerated, you let them go immediately. Period. End of story. Move on. I hope the door hits you in the way out. That's my New York attitude, huh? But anyways, I would encourage you guys, if you don't have any employees yet, to keep this in mind, because I believe that one of those mindsets that was hard for me when I started was I didn't want to hire people because I would make less money. That's what I always thought, right? It was just that it's one of the super hard mindsets to conquer when you're starting off, especially when you're just a solopreneur doing everything yourself. It's like, well, no, if I do the work, I'll make more money because if I hire someone, I'm going to have to pay them. And of course, that is the straight, linear, logical math that we all think. It's just not real math, though, because getting help, relieving pressure opens you up to work on the business in other ways, whether that's more quotes, more estimates, more calls, more back end work. Paying that person or people allows you to do more. So it's not like you're just hiring that person and then you're going to sit home and not do anything. So it's not one to one where, hey, I'm making 50,000. If I hire someone and pay them 40, I'm only going to make 10. Oh, because they're going to be doing what you were doing, and then you're going to be able to open up to do more and take on more work and then grow. Right? So hire slow, fire fast, fire real fast. That's a breaking company culture. Do not fuck around with it. Trust me, I've had to lose entire staffs maybe 2 or 3 times from allowing people to work there that shouldn't, that just poisoned everything. You need to run your own ship. You need to be the captain of your own ship. You need to get your employees on the same boat, believing you. You need to encourage them, be a leader, nurture them, train them, help them become more, show them a path to success with you so that you're directing the ship. Yes, but clearly they're the front lines. But when the employees are taking a different path to the ship, that's the direction your company will go. It doesn't matter what you want. If you allow it to happen, all of a sudden the employees will run the company and it's not yours anymore. It's not what you wanted it to be. It's not what you dreamed it would be. So keep that in mind. This is not being an asshole. This is being a good leader. This is being a good boss. And a side note for you guys who say it's too hard to find people to work, I get that it can be hard, but every person I talk to that's smaller, that's having trouble finding people, because you don't pay enough. You're starting guys out at $18 an hour to do what we do. You're starting out guys $18 an hour to go climb up ladders, hang lights. You're starting guys at $18 an hour to haul around heavy ass shit and break their back labor for all day, every day. Fuck out of here. Pay them more. You want more applicants? Pay more. You want better people to show up every day? Pay more. It really can be that simple to get more people into your network or your pool of hiring. Anyways, define your company culture and live it. Do not allow anyone to break it, including yourself. Because when you don't back up your employees and you don't show that you're serious, you're breaking your own company values. Breaking your own. Why would you do that? Stay true. You got this. Anyways, Hope that was helpful to some of y'all, whether you're just starting out or you have a bunch of employees. I'm sure you can relate, whether you've been that guy that should have been fired, you might have been the cancerous guy, or you've worked with somebody for sure that's been like that. Anyways, this has been Captain's Quarters First Class, an outdoor lighting podcast. Hope you all have a great day. Go out there and make some money.